It's Aaron, it's My Turbo Reviews, it's Rodimus Week. As the fifth Masterpiece figure released in the US, Rodimus Prime comes with a bit of controversy. The Japanese release gave him his trailer, a la Generation 1 Rodimus Prime, along with a price tag too steep for the average US customer, or so Hasbro believed. Instead, Hasbro released the figure in the US Cian's trailer, but packed with an accessory exclusive to the US release. Okay, so let's have a look. The first thing that any knowledgeable Transformers fan would say about Rodimus Prime's alt mode is that it definitely isn't Rodimus Prime's alt mode. At least not Generation 1 Rodimus Prime, which is who this figure is supposed to depict. No, this is the alt mode of the pre-Prime Rodimus, or Hot Rod. The figure was engineered with the idea of representing both Hot Rod, or Rodimus, as well as Rodimus Prime. Unfortunately, there's no way for me to showcase Rodimus Prime's proper alt mode because it requires his trailer, which the US release doesn't come with. So, what we have here is Rodimus's Hot Rod alt mode. For what it is, it's a nice update of G1 Hot Rod's futuristic sports car alt mode. As with most Rodimus figures, the vehicle sports flame detailing on the hood, there are shiny chrome exhaust pipes on the sides, and his trademark yellow spoiler. He's also got rubber tires, which is a rarity for Transformers figures nowadays. Considering all the moving panels that make up this figure, his alt mode holds together pretty well, although not as well as some of the others like Grimlock and Optimus Prime. All in all, Rodimus Prime's alt mode is decent enough, and I'm giving it a 7.5. Rodimus Prime's transformation is a bit fiddly, but surprisingly uncomplicated. There are a lot of little panels and such that need to be moved and positioned just so for everything to fit into place. That being said, he's about on par with Masterpiece Grimlock at the other end of the transformation spectrum when compared to a figure like Masterpiece Optimus Prime. Still, it's a decent transformation with some unique shifting of parts, and I'm giving it a 7.5. Okay, so just like the alt mode, this isn't Rodimus Prime's robot mode either, but rather that of Rodimus, aka Hot Rod. So why is this thing called Masterpiece Rodimus Prime then? I'll get to that in a little bit. The head sculpt on this figure is decidedly Generation 1 Hot Rod. I do have to say I'm not liking the color they used for the face. The gray is just a bit too dark for me. I really wish they had used that silver paint that they have that looks chrome-like but not as shiny. Of course, it wouldn't be Rodimus without the flame chest, exhaust pipe arms, and the big spoiler on his back. One gripe that I have with this particular figure is all the separate panels that form his robot mode. They don't hold together as well as they should, especially on the legs. 2, there is a noticeable gap in his chest. Finally, the backpack with the yellow spoiler that's supposed to attach doesn't really do that good a job of staying, causing the backpack to fall. This being a new figure, it's tough to overlook. With all its imperfections, I'm giving his robot mode an 8. Rodimus Prime has some fairly good articulation. Some of his joints, like his shoulders and hips, are ratcheting, and as such, they don't give as precise a range of motion as a ball or swivel joint. His feet, being metal, are a bit on the heavy side, and they're attached to a little plastic arm. This makes balancing the figure to stand a bit of an issue. Still, most poses are possible, and articulation gets an 8.5. Being a Masterpiece figure, Rodimus Prime is chock full of gimmicks. First is that he can change from his Rodimus or Hot Rod mode to Rodimus Prime. Legs get slightly longer, the spoiler fins fold in slightly, and his face switches to the more mature-looking Rodimus Prime. And that's it. Yep. Astounding. Rodimus Prime's chest opens to reveal a tiny Autobot matrix of leadership. Unfortunately, it's not to scale, so a bigger matrix is included with him, which is to scale, but unfortunately, it doesn't fit in Rodimus Prime's chest. His arms rotate and flip inward, revealing a connector for two of his other accessories. One is a buzzsaw, so you can recreate that awesome scene from the Transformers the movie when Hot Rod fought the robotic squid. The other is a laser welder, so you can recreate that awesome scene from the Transformers the movie when Hot Rod repaired Cup. There are also two laser pistols similar to the two weapons that Generation 1 Hot Rod carried. He can hold them separately, one in each hand. Or the two pistols also combine to form a rifle similar to G1 Rodimus Prime's. Finally, he has an accessory exclusive to the US release of the figure. To make up for the lack of the trailer that the Japanese release got, Masterpiece Rodimus Prime in the US comes packed with a Target Master. This Target Master, Offshoot, doubles as another gun for Rodimus Prime, giving him a ludicrous amount of firepower. But Offshoot also changes into a little robot, reminiscent of G1 Target Master Hot Rod's partner, Firebolt. Oh, and all of his weapons can attach to his engine block in alt mode. He's also supposed to have a flip-down visor, but I have yet to get it to work. Most of the gimmicks are good, and certainly none interfere with the figure as a whole, so I'm giving his gimmicks a score of 8.5. Masterpiece Rodimus Prime's overall score is an 8. He's got a solid alt mode, and transformation is a bit on the easy side. Robot mode doesn't hold together quite as well as you'd expect for a figure of this caliber, but articulation is pretty much what it should be, though there are issues trying to get him to stand. He's got a plethora of gimmicks, and most of them are decent. Recommended. While not the best of the Masterpiece line, Rodimus Prime is still a worthy addition to its ranks, as well as to your collection. The fact that the US release doesn't come with the trailer cuts the price of the figure in half, but it also put off a number of US collectors. Hasbro's release did fix many of the problems with the design of the main figure, but Takara just went and re-released the figure with Hasbro's fixes. The exclusive Target Master isn't enough of a selling point, so which figure you're looking for ultimately depends on how much money you're willing to spend. Well, that's it for my 50th video, and it's also the end of the Rodimus Week reviews. Stay tuned over the weekend for a quick Rodimus Week recap, and after that I'll see you when I see you.